All right, let's get right into it. We've got two heavy hitters in the AI coding world, Lovable and Cursor. Both of them make this incredible promise that you can build an entire app from just a simple text prompt. But, and this is the really interesting part, they go about it in completely different ways. They have two totally different philosophies. So today, we're going to put them head to head. Because, look, this isn't about finding the single best tool. It's about finding the tool that's right for you, for what you're trying to build, what skills you have, and frankly, what you're trying to achieve. So, you know us, we had to cut through all the marketing hype. We put both of these tools through a real-world test to see how they actually perform when the rubber meets the road. So first things first, let's meet our contenders. In one corner, we have Lovable, which bills itself as the simple app builder. And in the other corner, Cursor, the AI-powered code editor. The best way to think about them, it's really the automator versus the copilot. And this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Lovable's whole goal is to hide the messy stuff, to abstract away all the complexity, and just give you the simple, streamlined, all-in-one experience. Cursor, on the other hand, embraces the complexity. It gives developers this incredible AI-powered toolkit so they have total control inside a familiar workflow. Okay, so how does this all shake out in the real world? Let's kick things off with the absolute basics. How do you even get your hands on these tools? And what can you actually build with them? Right off the bat, you're going to notice a huge difference. Lovable is 100% web-based. You just go to their website, sign up, and you're building right there in your browser. Zero installation. Cursor is a full-blown desktop application that you have to download and install on your machine, whether it's a Mac, Windows, or Linux. And this is where you see that fundamental trade-off in black and white. Lovable is super simple, but it's also kind of restrictive. You can really only build web apps, and you have to use their chosen tech stack. That's Vite, React, and Supabase. Cursor, though, it's a completely blank canvas. Since it's a code editor, you have total freedom. You can build anything, web apps, mobile apps, desktop apps, using whatever programming language or framework you want. All right, enough theory. Let's see these things in action. It's time for the main event, the build-off. We gave both tools the exact same prompt to build a real-world application completely from scratch. So here was the challenge we threw at them. We said, I want to create an OCR app where you can upload a picture and it pulls the text out of it. A pretty common task. And to keep it fair, we literally copied and pasted this exact same prompt into both Lovable and Cursor. And, well, this is where things got interesting. Lovable's first shot at it didn't quite make it. It spun up a user interface, sure, but when we actually tried to upload an image, nothing. It just got stuck in this infinite loading loop. The core feature was basically broken. And this really shows you how you have to work with Lovable. Debugging is a conversation. At first, we just asked it to fix the issue, but that didn't really get us anywhere. We had to be more specific. We actually had to tell it which technology to use, in this case, a library called Tesseract.js. And once we gave it that little nudge, boom, it worked like a charm. Now, Cursor's experience, a totally different story. Complete contrast. On its very first attempt with that same initial prompt, it built a fully working app, no fuss. It just figured out the right tools on its own, installed the dependencies, and generated code that worked right out of the gate. So you might be wondering, why did Cursor nail it on the first try? Well, a huge part of the answer is this, model choice. Cursor lets you, the developer, pick from a whole menu of the best AI models out there. GPT-4o, Claude 3 Opus, Gemini 1.5 Pro, you name it. Lovable doesn't give you that choice. You're just locked into whatever their default model is, which might not always be the best tool for the job. That whole build-off really just perfectly illustrates the core trade-off we're talking about here. It's this constant dance between Lovable's elegant, simple approach and Cursor's raw, unadulterated power and flexibility. And you see this same pattern pop up again and again. Need a back-end database? Lovable gives you a one-click integration with Supabase. It's totally effortless. In Cursor, you can use whatever backend you want, but you gotta set it up yourself. Same thing with deploying your app. Lovable has a big, simple publish button. Cursor uses the standard developer workflow. You push your code to GitHub and deploy it with a service like Vercel. And then there are the features that are just in a league of their own. Cursor is packed with these exclusive power-ups for pros. We're talking about background agents that can literally rewrite your code while you're away from the computer, a command line built right into the editor, and even integrations with tools like Slack. This isn't just fluff. These are tools designed for serious, day-to-day professional development. So, after all that, who's the winner? What's the final verdict? Let's break it down and get really clear about who should be choosing Lovable and who should be going with Cursive. You should absolutely go with Lovable if you're a non-technical founder, maybe a designer, or really anyone who just wants the fastest, simplest path from an idea to a working web app. If you prioritize speed and ease of use above all else and you're cool with their tech stack, Lovable is, well, it's a fantastic tool. On the other hand, Cursor's going to be your go-to if you're a developer. I mean, it's pretty clear. If you want total granular control over your code, your technology, your entire workflow, it's the obvious winner. And for anything more complex than a standard web app, or if you want access to those really advanced AI features, Cursor is the copilot you're looking for. And really quick, let's touch on pricing, because it's also pretty different. Lovable has a simple credit system. You buy a pack of credits and use them up. Cursor is more of a subscription model, but heavy use of the AI models can lead to extra API costs. It's a little more complex, which kind of fits its whole vibe of being more powerful and usage-based. So, at the end of the day, it all boils down to this one question. Are you looking for that streamlined, all-in-one path that gets you to a finished product with as little friction as possible? Or do you need the limitless professional toolkit that gives you ultimate control over every single detail? The choice is yours.